Okay, let's unpack this. We've been sent just a massive, dense stack of material.
It's huge.
It's a full blueprint for modern success, for optimization, and how to live what all these sources are calling the high-value life.
Right, and it's a mix of everything. High-level business strategy, really deep internal manifestation techniques, and then these incredibly specific relationship rules.
Yeah, it's a lot. So if you, our listener, want to know how the experts and influencers are telling people to get that ultimate glow up for 2026.
You basically sent us the playbook. So our mission today is to distill all of this, the tactical, the psychological, and even the kind of esoteric advice for achieving the life you want.
Becoming your hottest self, as they say.
That's the one.
And what's really remarkable is how these sources treat everything as connected. Dating, how you present yourself, building a business.
It's all just different forms of personal optimization.
Exactly. It all leads back to this one core goal.
So the big question we really need to answer today is this. When you put all these strategies together, is the modern path to success driven by, deep internal transformation? Or is it more about aggressive external performance?
Or just sheer, cold, calculated strategy? We're trying to find that common blueprint running underneath it all.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start exactly where the sources tell us to start, which is the absolute foundation, your self-worth and mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The very first piece of advice we saw, it was universal, focused on redefining what confidence even is. It shouldn't be attached to, these highly visible external things.
That's such a significant shift. The consensus is that your confidence should be attached to the size of your heart and your actions.
Not the size of your bank account.
Or anything fleeting, like how you look on a given day.
Yeah, that immediately reframes the whole glow-up idea. It means you stop letting your mood change based on the number on your scale or how many pimples I have on my face.
Right, that's the classic external trap. It just leads straight to burnout. And this leads to an almost radical idea we found in one source, which is that you deserve to feel confident and appreciated just because you exist.
Just for being here.
Just for having a place on Earth. It's an inherent right, not something you have to earn through performance.
That concept is so deceptively simple, but it's incredibly powerful if you can actually adopt it.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you believe your worth is inherent, then your reflection, as one source put it, is not your enemy. It's just the result of how you treat yourself.
Right. If you're kind to yourself, your reflection improves. If you're cruel to yourself,
it shows.
It really shows. And this pushes us past all that generic self-help advice and into specific, really practical tools for internal change. For example, the sources are all united in warning about toxic affirmations.
Right. Stop forcing yourself to repeat affirmations you just plain don't believe in.
Yeah.
They argue this is toxic. It just triggers this internal resistance.
Yeah.
If you repeat, I am rich, while you're looking at an empty bank account, your brain just rejects it.
It knows you're lying to it.
And it cements your current reality. You only receive what you truly believe.
So the alternative technique they offer is way more grounded. It's about gratitude and just being present. Look in the mirror and thank your body for what it actually does.
So not I love my perfect nose,
but thank you eyes for letting me see this world, or thank you my brain for keeping me conscious of undeniable things.
And the claim is that this small daily gratitude process literally changes your face and your aura. It shifts your energy from self-attack to being your own biggest supporter.
It's an act of deep internal investment.
Which is a good pivot. So if we stop attacking ourselves and start appreciating the body we have, we can look at the bigger picture of self-worth itself. One source offered a pretty critical view, suggesting that self-esteem is, basically an illusion.
An illusion? How so? Because that sounds like it could go wrong.
I thought so too. But they resolve it by defining self-esteem as a social emotion. It's an internal barometer of where you are in the dominance hierarchy.
So it's like your internal social status score.
Exactly. And focusing heavily on that score, constantly comparing yourself, seeking validation, that's what they say is overrated and just exhausting.
Okay, so if tracking that social score is the illusion, what's the better path?
A better approach, they say, is to abandon the tracking altogether and just am. Focus on building the future you want by choosing actions based on your abilities and needs, not on propping up a fragile ego.
That makes sense. And it ties directly into how we're supposed to approach failure.
Yes. The crucial perspective on failure. We are told, especially when you're young, that failure and feedback are a gift.
If you use them.
If you use them. The sources argue you should use the time when nobody expects you to be good at anything, to go out and intentionally make as many failures as possible.
Just to get the experience, because age doesn't magically make you more confident. Taking intentional steps through discomfort over and over again, that's what does it.
You're building evidence for yourself that you can handle a setback.
And if you can handle setbacks, you can handle pressure.
Which is another reframe. The sources state flat out, pressure is a privilege, you are the main character of your life, and learning to convert those inconvenient moments of pressure.
Those little things that cause friction.
Yeah, that's essential for achieving big things later on. It teaches you to execute under stress.
It's the difference between seeing a challenge and thinking this is a punishment versus seeing it and thinking, wow, I've earned the opportunity to face this.
That's a perfect pivot point, because if we've established the internal blueprint, that inherent worth, that ability to convert pressure, the sources then immediately translate that power into strategy.
Into deliberately creating your future. And what's so fascinating is how getting what you want is framed, not as luck or some, woo-woo.
No, it's framed as rigorous strategy.
It absolutely begins with radical specificity. We saw so many calls to know exactly what you want and to want it unapologetically. Stop being humble about your dreams.
Vague dreams get you vague results.
Exactly. We're talking beyond a magazine clipping of a nice car. We're talking about having Zillow boards full of houses and knowing the exact manufacturer of the chandelier you're going to hang in the dining room.
The idea is to create a vision board that is extremely specific, pasting pictures of exactly how you want the future to be, down to the paint color on the walls.
And that hyper-specificity isn't just wishful thinking, it's a strategy. It forces you to confront and overcome that little voice that says, oh, I don't deserve that exact thing.
It forces clarity, and that clarity helps you create a new identity.
Which leads to this powerful concept of radical behavioral scripting.
Right. One source suggests literally naming the person you want to become, like Dia 2.0. You list the new traits. Discipline.
You're creating a new character profile.
And this new identity is supported by actual rituals. The example we saw was writing invisible letters to a relationship you never got closure for. You act as if you've already said everything.
And then you burn the paper.
Yes. It's a physical, symbolic act of releasing that old energy so the new identity can exist fully.
That's a profound mechanism. And then we get to the core philosophy that underpins all of this, the concept from Neville Goddard that feeling is the secret.
Rehearsing a scene before bed that feels joyous and exciting.
This is where we go deeper than just seeing the image. The visualization isn't about the visual itself. It's about using the visual as a symbol to embody the emotional state of already having that thing.
So you're tuning yourself to the vibration of the outcome. The joy you feel when you rehearse the scene is the frequency you're aligning with.
Exactly. So the goal isn't to perfectly manifest the picture on your vision board, but to embody the feeling of success or happiness that the picture represents.
Which is a key distinction.
A huge one. And a critical caveat here is that because the visual is often just a symbol, you might get something so much better than the exact image you visualized.
Because the universe is matching the quality of the feeling, not the exact blueprint.
You got it. And this moves us into the idea of energy and scarcity as practical tools. If you are constantly thinking and talking about being broke,
The sources argue you're literally vibrating on a frequency of scarcity.
making it impossible for abundance to match that frequency. The strategy here is simple, but it requires so much consistency. You have to train your brain to focus on what you want to grow.
Not what you want to avoid.
It's that simple mechanism. Where your attention goes, energy flows.
Okay, so if we've mastered the internal blueprint and we've focused our creative energy, the sources then immediately translate that into strategic external relationships. And this advice is, well, it's very strategic.
Particularly around investment dynamics in dating.
Yeah. The core truth across several sources is that investment creates respect. Men respect what they invest in.
Whether it's a vintage car, a demanding hobby,
Or a relationship. If he invests his time, his money, his emotion, he prioritizes it.
and the actionable piece of advice from that is, don't be scared to ask for things. The sources are so clear on this. The more a man invests, the more he will prioritize you.
It creates a vested attachment. He has skin in the game.
Right. And following that, there's this extensive discussion on feminine energy. But crucially, it's not framed as an aesthetic or a performance.
It's not just wearing a skirt or picking flowers.
No, it's a natural power, an aura, a state of being.
I think we need to clarify this, though. Is this just repackaged traditional gender roles?
Not according to the sources. They acknowledge masculine energy is necessary for organization and structure, like making a to-do list or managing a budget.
So it's useful.
It's essential. The problem is when women get stuck operating from a masculine state all the time, instead of being a feminine person who taps into the masculine when needed for execution.
That distinction is key. So how do you embrace that flow state?
The physical advice is to slow down. Slow down when you talk, when you walk. Be intentional with your posture. The feminine energy in this mindset is not in a rush.
Because she believes the world revolves around her time, which signals high value.
Exactly. Now, moving into deep intimacy, we get to the psychological core of an unforgettable connection.
What makes intimacy unforgettable for a man isn't just the physical act.
No, it's the emotional disarming that comes before it. It's about touching his silence, that part of him that holds his buried emotions. Vulnerability, grief, fear of failure.
The things he never talks about.
Never. Many men go through life feeling conditionally loved or unwanted unless they're contributing something physical or financial.
So the woman's role here is to change that narrative.
Yes, she has to actively make a man feel desired for who he is, not just wanted for what he can provide. If she can touch that part of him that feels unloved and has no words, he can't forget her.
That's a depth of intimacy that's very rare.
Very. And this all rolls into the high-value dating strategy. The number one killer of attraction, universally agreed upon, is desperation and overgiving.
We saw that specific anecdote about the guy rejecting a perfect match because she seemed too easy.
No mystery, no pursuit, so no value was created. To maintain that attraction, strategic scarcity is recommended. Go missing sometimes in the early stages.
Don't be available 24/7.
Have your own full schedule that you protect.
But how do you avoid that tipping into just playing games?
Well, it only works if the scarcity is genuine. If you are actually living your high-value, intentional life, you simply won't have 24/7 availability.
Because you're focused on your own growth.
Exactly. The power of contrast is key here. Be friendly and nice, but have huge, strong boundaries around your time and energy. That's the magnet.
That combination is what creates the attraction. And finally, the ultimate high confidence challenge. Be so self-assured, especially in your sexual confidence, that it actually intimidates some men.
Right. These sources claim certain men will try to put you down because they know you won't be manipulated.
And the challenge is to be so confident that that happens.
Which brings us to the final layer. External presentation as currency and strategy. The internal work has to show up on the outside.
For women especially, one source is very direct. Beauty is currency.
And this currency requires serious, consistent investment. Taking care of your body, scheduling your hair and nails, eating foods that make you glow from the inside out. The mandate is to show up 110%.
That investment mentality extends right into personal branding. We saw the analysis of Rosé from Blackpink's solo career.
Yeah, that was fascinating. She embraced a core element from the group, the color pink, but evolved it by pairing it with red to mark her new, more mature era.
The lesson being that success often comes from strategically evolving what you're already known for.
So the key takeaway is to turn your existence into a brand. Treat your time and energy as valuable, and set boundaries that reflect that value.
Because the people who make it furthest, the sources insist, aren't always the best looking or the smartest.
They're the most persistent and consistent in maintaining their brand standards.
That consistency brings us to the final psychological trait they emphasize: conscientiousness.
Which is defined as how much you care about maintaining an orderly, productive structure around yourself.
Low conscientiousness just leads to pure chaos. Missed deadlines, poor quality work. But the sources also warn against the other extreme.
Yeah, excessively high conscientiousness can become OCPD, where the need for order is paralyzing.
So the sweet spot is maintaining a high-quality standard without sacrificing speed.
It's the difference between doing a final proofread on an important email and having to reread that email 50 times before you can send it.
You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be good and reliable.
It's measured, consistent execution. Which brings us back to that central friction we saw.
So what does this all mean? We've seen this incredible tension between intense external optimization, the strategy, the branding, the physical investment, and the deep internal work required for true self-worth.
It's a high-stakes, high-effort thing.
And that extreme effort has a real cost. We saw that burnout is often misunderstood. It's not just about needing more rest.
No, burnout is frequently caused by having crazy high expectations of yourself, and crucially, equating your self-worth with your output.
If you live by that idea, that worth equals productivity, the well is always going to run dry.
That perfectly captures the friction in this whole stack of advice. We're told to calculate, strategize, and execute with laser focus, but also to let go, stop chasing validation, and find inner peace.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to consider. The discussion of optimization implies this constant, measured, forward march, a detailed, calculating blueprint.
But one source mentioned the necessity of the intuitive nudge, that small, unforced moment where you just have to jump on an opportunity or a change of direction to create the reality you want.
So if we were calculating every move, our investment, our scarcity, our branding, how do we leave room for that spontaneous, unforced flow?
How do you know when to calculate the next step and when to simply trust the timing of the universe and just jump? That's the balance you have to strike to truly master this new, optimized blueprint.